Since then, I guess you have followed the development, and the forestry has really been on the agenda from the early 90s until now. And looking at these international different corporations, you have, for example, the UN Forest on Forum, and they work, for example, with there are both lots of soft tools in forestry, for example, the UN Forest Principles and the non-binding forest agreement is adapted by the UN Forest on Forum on Forest. And there are lots of different groups here working with these type of soft tools where they have meetings, etc., following the trends, have discussions. And one example is Forest Europe also. The Ministerial Conference on the Protection of Forests in Europe is the earlier name. And we will hear more about that from Jan Heino today. And they, for example, have, looking back at the meetings they have during the last 10 years, they have lifted the issue of forestry and water. They have, for example, so it's very important meetings. And now they have discussion for a legal binding agreement for Europe. And so there are two processes going on there. This ministerial conference meetings, where they have open discussion seminars and go together, which is so great important to follow the trends. And then you have this discussion going on about the legal binding agreement that Jan Heino will present today. And also on the Nordic level, you have, for example, the Nordic Council of Ministers and Forestry. Looking at the EU level then, it's very complicated. There are several policy processes going on. And the reason for this is because there are different actors behind this. And of course, the aim for the different processes is not always the same, but they are very much linked. And that makes this arena very complicated because it's quite hard to try to pick out the process that you should follow and leave the others out. And it's not very easy to predict the ones that's going to be successful looking into the future. And here you see several examples of the process going on in EU. And today there is no legal foundation in the EU treaty for a common forest policy.